video, I decided to do a look using the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. I've had this palette since it was released in the summer, and it has been used and abused with love. I haven't done a look with it in a while on my channel, so I thought I would just do one, and I decided to do a glittery cut crease. If you are interested in seeing how I achieved this look using the Modern Renaissance palette, then just continue on watching. So I've already gone ahead and primed my lids with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and then set that so it doesn't crease with the shade Tempera in the Modern Renaissance palette. So I really want this look to be blended out and be seamless and have a smooth gradient effect. So I'm going to go in with a few different colors to kind of build up my crease. At this point, I'm not 110% sure what I want to do for this look. I might want to do a cut crease. I might want to do a half cut crease. I don't know, I'll kind of figure it out as I go. For my transition shade, I'm going to go into Golden Ochre. I'm going to just go in with a clean Morphe E27 brush and buff out the transition shade to make sure that there's no harsh edges. So the next shade I'm going to go into is called Raw Sienna, and this is like a mid-tone camel is kind of how I would describe it. It's a really nice warm tone brown, but it's not too dark, so it's going to be very nice as a transition shade. I'm going to place this directly over top where I went with Golden Ochre. So I actually decided that I'm going to put some tape on my bottom lash line to create a sharp line, because I think I am going to go with a cut crease, and this will help make everything nice and clean and just make it a little bit easier. So now I'm going to take Raw Sienna again and just repeat that step. So the next shade I'm going into is Burnt Orange, and I'm going to switch to my Morphe M330 brush. This brush is really fluffy but then tapers in at the end, so I find when I place it directly in the crease, it gives a really flawless airbrush look. So I'm going to place this once again over top of the two other transition shades, but I'm going to put this a little bit lower, and this brush on its own is going to blend the color up towards Golden Ochre and Raw Sienna. And then once again, I'm going in with my Morphe E27 brush. This is a really dense, fluffy blending brush. So I like to go in with this brush with no product on it, just to really make sure that everything is buffed out. I usually go in with this brush multiple times throughout one eye look, just because I find the more blending, the better. So I'm going to layer a bit more with Burnt Orange, and I'm really going to build the color up. The next shade I'm going to go in is called Religar, and this is a very warm toned orange. I find when I put it in the crease, it kind of gives off a red undertone, but it's really a beautiful shade and it's super flattering on the eye. So to kind of clean up the top and add on to that gradient, I'm going to go back in with the shade Golden Ochre. I'm going to go in with my E27 brush and just brush that above all the shades we've put so far to kind of warm up that transition area. Now I'm going to go in with a really small detailed blending brush. This is the Morphe M562, and now I'm going to go into the shade Venetian Red, and then I'm going to build up on that shade with Red Ochre. So this is going to go directly into my crease, but because I have hooded eyes, I'm going to take it a little bit above so that when I cut the crease, it's still visible. Now I'm going to go back in with my M330 and blend that out with whatever's left on this brush. I'm going to go back in with Venetian Red and then just do the exact same step. So now I'm going to go in with the same little detail blending brush and Red Ochre. Now comparing Red Ochre to Venetian Red has a bit more of a pink undertone, while Red Ochre really has more of a red undertone. So lastly, I'm going to go into the shade Cypress Umber, which is just this really pretty warm tone brown. And it's just going to go exactly on top of Red Ochre, just to really deepen it, but I'm going to go slightly lower. Now that I have that color placed down, I'm going to take that small little blending brush and go back in with Red Ochre and go on top of that. Now I'm just going to go back in with my original blending brush, the M441, and just blend on top of that with whatever was left on the brush. Now I feel like I'm going to add just a little bit of Venetian red just to tie in the look, going over the exact same step that I did before. This look has a lot of repetition, but I find that repetition kind of gives the most well put together look, especially when you're going for a cut crease. Everything should kind of be placed perfectly and should really be thought out nicely, and just kind of what you have to do to get a really nice cut crease. So to cut my crease, I'm going to go with my Tarte Shape Tape and with a Tarte concealer brush. Now I think I'm going to cut my full lid and not just a half cut crease because I haven't done a full one in a while. So I start off with going in with a small amount of concealer on my brush just to get the initial shape, and then once that is figured out, then I'll go in with more product to build up the coverage. I'm gonna have to go a little closer to this mirror. It shouldn't block. So I'm going to close my eyes, and I like to start in the inner corner by dabbing and then opening my eye to see what is showing and what isn't, because I want to bring the concealer higher than my natural crease because I do have hooded eyes. But it is better to start out lower and then just extend that crease, because if you go too high, then you're kind of stuck with it. So I've gone ahead and taken off the tape. Now I'm going to go in with some NYX glitter glue and apply this everywhere where I placed the concealer. Then I'm going to go over top of it with the NYX Face and Body Glitter in Ice. So I didn't realize that my camera stopped filming, but I did go ahead and I just applied my Huda Beauty Samantha lashes. And now I'm going to move on to my base. I'm going to prime my skin with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. So I'm going to use a liquid highlighter. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. And I'm just going to put this on my cheekbones, on my nose, and on my Cupid's bow, just to give a nice natural inner glow. Now that I'm nice and glowy, I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Stick Foundation. I'm just going to buff that out with my Morphe M439 brush. For concealer, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape. I'm going to set under my eyes with my RCMA No Color Powder. I'm just going to take the same powder and I'm going to bake my smile lines. And with whatever is left on this, I'm just going to put it on my chin. To set the rest of my face, I'm just going to go in with my Giorgio Armani Powder Foundation, and then I'll just wipe away with whatever is left on the brush the baking that's on my smile lines. To bronze slash contour my cheekbones, I'm going to go into the Benefit Cheekathon palette and go into Hoola. Just going to bake underneath that bronzer with the RCMA No Color Powder. Just gonna go into the discontinued, my bad, Kat Von D blush. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light blush in Hansel and Gretel. I'm gonna go into Gretel, I think, the peachy one. So I'm not gonna do anything crazy on my bottom lash line. I'm just gonna take Religar and then, no, that's a lie. I'm gonna take burnt orange and then red ochre and just buff it out underneath my bottom lash line. Just gonna spray my face with MAC Fix Plus to prepare it for the highlighter I'll be putting on. Going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit in Gleam. And I'm gonna take a mixture of Crushed Pearl and Starburst. For my lips, I'm gonna go in with a combo of Anastasia Beverly Hills like a lipstick in Stripped, and then the NYX Suede matte lip liner in Stripped Down. Just kidding, not Stripped Down. It's called Sandstorm. So this is the finished look. If you did like this video, I would love if you could like, subscribe, and comment down below.